Hey, what's up, guys? In this video, I've got some parlays for you that you can place on a sports book. That's right. We are going to go back to free picks against the spread, traditional sportsbook formats. I'll obviously still do DFS for the time being, but I'm a little sick of these DFS apps. It's like you find an angle, you start winning, they take it away, and it's just frustrating. And it's also long shots. So a lot of people can't handle losing as frequently as you have to lose when you're doing long shot 25x plays. With sports books, we can be winning every day. And I know for a lot of you guys, that's something that you're into. And for me, when I started this channel, it was all sports betting. It was no DFS. DFS really just blew up the last several years. So I'll still do DFS. I still live in Texas, so I'm still going to be doing DFS personally. And then I'll make picks against the spread. I'll get parlays down like you're about to see in this video. You guys can see the first one there on the screen. And I'm super excited. I'm probably going to drive to Louisiana today to get some serious money down on these plays right here. I think this one that we're looking at here is just so beautiful. And we're coming off of a night where Mike Tyson and Jake Paul just boxed. It's hard to beat Jake Paul minus 200. I think that was like one of the greatest locks of all time. And I do regret not slamming it. I guess I was just a little hesitant because I felt like Mike Tyson's such a legend. Jake Paul had never really fought a real boxer and done well. But you also got to factor in like, damn, Mike Tyson is so old. Yeah, the training videos don't matter. He can look good in training videos. But I should have slammed it. Dave Portnoy had a really good post. I think it's up on his Instagram page, actually. It's like the only post that's not a pizza review right now. And he was saying this is like the greatest lock of my lifetime. This is like where you make generational money, minus 200. The crazy thing about Jake Paul versus Tyson is I think sportsbooks would have taken a huge bet on Mike Tyson or on Jake Paul because everybody was betting on Tyson. So that was like, that's an opportunity that it kind of haunts me today, waking up the morning after. Sometimes things happen and there's always clarity after a game. Everybody is like, oh, I knew that would have happened. You look at my Washington bet in that Washington-Michigan game, the week of, everybody was picking Washington. It was crazy. And I was like, wow, this is the first week everyone's picking Washington. Of course, that was the first week they lost too. And after the game, everybody was like, oh yeah, well, of course, a Pac-12 team can't beat Michigan. And I'm like, it's crazy that everybody was saying one thing. So clarity always happens after the games. You don't want to beat yourself up too much, but damn. That Jake Paul bet yesterday would have been an easy one. Part of the problem for me too, guys, is I have to drive to Louisiana to lock these in. So I'm super selective. I can't just slam 10 plays a day every day. I kind of look off into the future with UFC fights, NFL games, college football games, kind of build really, really well thought out parlays. So the first one here is going to be Bo Nickel, John Jones with the 49ers. Now, Bo Nickel and John Jones don't need much explanation. I personally just believe that they'll both win probably 49 out of 50 times. I think they'll both win 95% of the time. Okay, maybe 99% of the time. All right. I don't think there's really paths for them to lose unless they get injured or something like that. I think Jones is going to take Stipe down and submit him and wrestle him and get him down to the ground. I think Nickel is going to keep it standing. Paul Craig's only way to beat Nickel is to get it to the ground. Nickel's fighter IQ is very high. Nickel and Ian Gary are very comparable. Highly skilled young prospects, and they are not willing to risk damaging their record. They're both undefeated too, so it makes sense. John Jones is undefeated as well. These undefeated fighters especially, they're not getting in there to put on a show. They're getting in there to keep their record clean and undefeated. The only way Paul Craig can beat Bo Nickel is if he gets it to the ground, which would make it very interesting because Bo Nickel's a high-level wrestler. Paul Craig probably overpowers that wrestling because MMA ground game, it's not just how good of a college wrestler you are, but that collegiate wrestling will help Bo Nickel with his takedown defense. So I think Nickel's going to stand and bang, and I think we could see a Bo Nickel knockout, which would be really cool to see. Love Bo Nickel here. I am of the opinion that you need to just ride Bo Nickel until he starts fighting top 10 guys and then figure out the matchup. But Bo Nickel might fight another 4 fights where he's just a parlay booster. Are we getting much out of this? Minus 1,200? No. I think it was like minus 900 when it opened maybe. But if you can use it as a parlay booster every time he fights, you're going to make significant money over his whole come up. I've personally bet on Bo Nickel UFC 300. Made a few $1,000 off that, built an account up off of that, him and Kayla Harrison. John Jones said what he's going to do. This 49ers game is really an interesting one to me. I think maybe because they're out in the Pacific Northwest, people don't follow the Seahawks as closely as I do. I was a Seahawks fan for a big portion of my life. Now I'm to the point where I don't really even care. Watching that franchise and just seeing how liberal Seattle is and how liberal Pete Carroll is with politics now, and seeing how they basically paid Geno Smith as a diversity hire. It was bizarre. It was like he was like a good BLM face for them. And it's like Geno Smith, he's a good backup quarterback. He's a backup quarterback, though. He's never been a starter in the NFL. He's never been good in the NFL. And to run Russell Wilson out of there, I don't know why. Maybe because Russell Wilson's weird personality was rubbing people the wrong way, probably. But, like, Russell Wilson's good, dude. They ran him out of there. And then they could have got Russell Wilson back for free. The Steelers picked him up, of course. Look how they're doing. And Geno has always sucked against the Niners. Wilson always beat the Niners. Wilson was the Niners' worst nightmare. Geno Smith is like a guaranteed win for them. They just went into Seattle a few weeks ago without CMC, without a lot of their star players. And they dominated Seattle. They won that game by 12 points. In San Francisco, with McCaffrey back, Ricky Pearsall hit in his stride, the rookie receiver out of Florida. Debo's going to play. Jennings is proving that he's a top receiver in the league. He's a solid receiver, too. You don't need Brandon Ayuk. You got Jennings. So you got Jennings, Pearsall, Debo, Kittle. Dude, it's a fucking nightmare for the Seahawks. And you've got your running backs you were using when CMC was out. So their confidence is up. Their experience is up. They know the pass blocking schemes. And you got CMC out there. Niners is like my lock of the week. The Niners is my lock of the week. So very solid parlay here. What I would do is I would go in heavy on what you see on the screen here, and then a sprinkle on the same one with Niners minus 6.5. So Niners minus 6.5 is going to boost this parlay way up to plus money. So I'd say put $2,000 on this right here, and then I would put maybe 200 or 300 on the same play with Niners minus 6.5. Okay, second parlay, same UFC legs. So Bo Nickel and John Jones. What we're ultimately doing in this video, guys, is we're saying, hey, if Bo Nickel and John Jones win, we're giving ourselves a really good chance to make solid money. Okay, this one is minus 142. You've got Oregon versus Wisconsin. Oregon's going undefeated, okay? This Oregon team has been undefeated the last 2 full seasons of college football, except against Washington. The only team that's beat them over the last 2 years is Washington. They're better this year. Well, they're better this year defensively. Their secondary is better this year than last year. I still prefer Troy Franklin and Bo Nix on offense, but Dylan Gabriel gets the job done. He does what he needs to do. He doesn't turn the ball over. High completion rate. The perfect formula to dominate Wisconsin. It's a night game on the road, but guess what? This Oregon team thrives. Their coach has taught, Dan Lanning has taught these guys how to embrace going into another team's house, taking over, and he called a timeout against Michigan so that his kids could taunt the crowd. They're probably going to be taunting this Wisconsin crowd tonight. Unfortunately for Wisconsin, kind of sucks for y'all because they're going to come in there, bully you, and then maybe disrespect you too. So I love Oregon on the road here. And then I love Boise State too. This San Jose State team is the team where Ashton Jeanty basically boosts his stats for the Heisman. It's crazy. And if San Jose State wants to get in the way of that, well, they'll just pass on you. So this game could be fireworks. This could be a very high-scoring game. I like Nick Nash in this game as well. Receiver for San Jose State, I take Nick Nash over on receptions. But very solid game there. I think Boise has no problem with this. They stay undefeated against a weak San Jose State team. I'm shocked that this is minus 550. I feel like this should be minus 1200 right here. So just really good value there. That's your second parlay. Boise State, Oregon, Bo Nickel, John Jones. All right, that's all I've got for you guys today. If you want a free $25 and you live in one of these pink states, this is an ugly map. I need to make a new one that's a little more pretty. But if you're in one of these states, guys, look at the map, look at where you live. Go to the link in the pinned comment. You get $25 for free. And my free pick for you on Dabble would be Ashton Jeanty over and Nick Nash over in that Boise State game. So you can build your own, but look, it's $25 for free. You don't have to deposit. Just go through the link in the pinned comment and you help support the channel. I get $10 when you do that. You get 25 and it keeps the channel going. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed talking sports betting, talking parlays. I really miss picks against the spread, especially this season. And I'm excited to get back into it, guys. So this is my free pick video for UFC 309, college football and NFL picks against the spread for this weekend of November 16th and 17th. Have a good day. Good luck with all your bets, and I'll see you guys in the next video.